So today I am making a recipe that was actually one of my very favorites that my mom used to make for me. My parents come from Abruzzi in Italy. They are literally in the foothills of the Miegele mountains there. And I guess we used to call it like a peasant dish, right? Because, of course, they had farmland and my mother would go out and just pick the greens that goes into this dish. And it was called, I've always grown up with it being called Miegele. I don't know where they got the name from. It's called Miegele. I've known it ever since. But I have since done some research trying to find if anybody in that region has cooks this recipe. And I ended up finding some people in Abruzzi on like the pasta grannies and on some of the other websites that I follow from the Abruzzi, because I belong to a lot of the Abruzzi websites. They call it pizza e foglie. Well, I think I've told the story before. My mom, after the rain, would go out when we lived in Massachusetts, would go out and get the snails, because that's what she did in Italy. When it would rain, she'd go out and get the snails. And then also to make salad, it was dandelion greens and chicory just picked from the yard. And I'd have friends over for dinner or something. We'd be playing and they'd come in for lunch or for dinner, and my mother would go out and she'd be like picking the dandelion greens and she'd be picking the chicory and bringing them into the house. And my friends would be like, "What is your mother doing?" And I'm like, "She's making salad." They're very bitter. I'm not crazy about the dandelion greens or the chicory. I eat them, but they're not my favorite. But this dish, miegel, my mother would make with whatever she could find or whatever she had. And so that would be either turnip greens, mustard greens, beet greens, Swiss chard, even escarole, any kind of a green that she could find, dandelion greens. But my mother loved the mustard greens. And my beloved went to the store today and he found some mustard greens. So I am going to make me a gal. I've not really been up to cooking lately. This is probably one of the first times I'm back in the kitchen. I have my little back brace on. I have my chair here, my little walker to kind of help me. And I'm going to be taking some frequent breaks. But I have been dying to have this for like months. And to be very honest with you, we went to the store about a month ago and I found turnip greens and I brought the turnip greens home and they ended up going to waste because I couldn't use them because I wasn't able to make anything. And then we ended up buying some Swiss chard and that I didn't get to make either. So today I was not going to waste any more food because I've done that twice now because of the season that I'm in. And so he also found for me some beautiful Swiss chard. So I'm going to now take the mustard greens and the Swiss chard, and I'm going to unwrap them, and I'll come back and talk about it a little more, and I'll show you the way I'm doing it. But I'm going to unwrap them, take out these big stems of this, and then I'll put them actually probably in a much bigger colander, wash them 2, 3, 4 times, make sure they're really washed really well. And then they're going to go into a big old pot that I have back there on the stove with some salt, and I'm going to cook them. And then I am going to, in another pot, the cast iron pot I have there, I'm going to put some olive oil in, and I have about 4 cloves of garlic that I'll put in there. And these are actually Mexican peppers. My mother used to use she put some red pepper in, or she always had a whole batch of peppers in the house. This I got in a bag at the market a year or so ago. And I'm going to saute the olive oil and the peppers, and then when the greens are done, they're going to go into that, and I'll mix that all up nice. So it's like sauteed greens with garlic and olive oil and a little bit of pepper. I think I also have Calabrian pepper. And then my mother always added pinto beans or cannellini. I prefer the cannellini beans, so I'm going to be adding some cannellini beans. But the thing that makes this the miegel is the cornmeal. So the other piece to this is I make a polenta, and then you put it out on a little pan, and you cook it in the oven, almost like a pizza. When it comes out, you break it apart, and then you mix it in with the greens. And I have to tell you, it doesn't look the best. Like people look at that, like, ooh, it doesn't really look that great. It is so savory and delicious. I cannot wait to make it. I can't wait to share it with you and show you this recipe and honor my mom making some miegel. So I'm gonna, now it's about time for me to sit down. So I'm going to sit here and I am going to go through my mustard greens, and I'm going to get all these big stems off of them. I'm going to wash them really well, and I'll show you the different stages as we go. So here's the mustard greens. All those mustard greens, just made this little batch of mustard green, which has not been washed yet. So that's going to get ready to get washed. The next thing I'm going to do is Swiss chard. And so, of course, I get rid of these big stems because they're not going to work. I'm going to put them in another colander, and I'm going to get to work pulling these apart and getting rid of these big old stems. And then we will be back for the next part. So you saw that big basket of greens I had, right? That has now been reduced to the stems. These are still good. You could cut off the ends, cut them up, saute them. You can eat those, put them into, make a nice broth. But what I'm using for this dish is mustard greens and Swiss chard. And you see that big basket filled. This is all that it's got for mustard greens. This is all that it has for Swiss chard. I just had to wash off my cutting board because there's sand all over it. These have to be washed thoroughly. They'll go probably 3-4 washes until I feel they're clean enough. And then I'll put them in that pot I have behind with some boiling salted water. I just put it on so it'll start to boil. Put some salted water in that and put them in to let the greens get nice and tender. Then I'll come back and show you the next step in this. So this now is the 4th wash, and you saw all of that Swiss chard and the mustard greens. It all comes down to literally filling to 1 scolapasta here. And so this is the 4th wash. This now is going to just get chilled down again with some cold water and another good healthy rinse. And it's going to go into that pot right there. And we're going to cook it because the greens have to be nice and tender. And then we'll come back and we'll show you the next piece. Hey guys, so I'm back. I made the cornmeal. Here it is. You can see the bottom of it. It's nice. And I put some, what I used was the water from the mustard greens and the Swiss chard to mix with the cornmeal. And I have that as part of the video. You'll see that. But I also made it like my mother used to make it, like a real kind of like a pizza. Like, look. And you take that, and it's actually, you know, just like that. But you break it apart and you mix it in, talking with my mouth full, with the rest of the miegele, which I have in a pot here. And I don't know if I can, it's not heavy. Well, it is a little heavy, but here we go. I got it. See if I can show it to you. So now I'm going to take a seat because I can't do this standing up. And I'm going to mix it in, and I'll take a video of it showing you what it looks like all mixed in together. And then that's the dish. All of these little pieces will get broken up and put into this greens. A lot of people make like beans and greens and that kind of stuff. Well, that's kind of what this is, right? I'm actually breaking it up and putting it in here just like this. This one that I made today really reminds me of my mother's. Hers was always very crispy, and the oil kind of melts it. Well, not melts it, it softens it, is what it does. So I'm gonna come back and I will put the camera over what I'm working on so you can see it. And I will, because that takes a little bit of elbow grease, and I've been standing for a little bit longer than I really should have today. So I'm gonna sit down. I've been taking lots of breaks in between because this video is going to be probably like nothing you've ever seen before, because a lot of it will be just different shots of things here and there, because I really couldn't do a full video to show this. So I'll be back. Hello. All right, so I have it here. It's all ready. I'll take another picture of it after. But I want to put some in a little dish. And I want to taste it for salt, actually, before I do. Well, I'll taste it before I do that. Oh. Get some of that cornmeal in there. Let's see. We're going to do the taste test now and see how this is. And if we're okay for salt or not. Oh, that is so good. Definitely needs a little salt. But I don't want to stop eating it, so I'm just going to eat it like this. Oh my goodness. That's delicious. So this is, in my family, called miegele. I think in other families in Abruzzo, it may be called pizza e foglie. Whatever it's called, it's delicious. And I will put the recipe out there with the video when I get a chance. And I'm going to add a little salt to this. It just needs to sit just a little longer now. The oil with the cornmeal in there. The cornmeal's nice and crunchy. I like it crunchy. Just break it up. Oh my goodness, it's just so good. But when you look at it, it doesn't look like much. It looks like a bunch of mush all together, right? But it tastes so good. And I didn't put very much of the peppers in it, but you could add some of the red pepper, the Italian red pepper flakes if you wanted. You could do all kinds of things in that regard. It's absolutely delicious. And it reminds me of my mom. My mom used to make this for me whenever I would go home to visit. My dad would always make me raviolis, and Mommy always made me miegele. And I have actually been craving this for, I don't know, about a month. I've been wanting to have it, and I wanted to make it, but I haven't been able to. So today was the first day I felt like maybe I could try, and it's really taken till nighttime, a long time, all day, to be able to do it in little bits and pieces. But I'm in a different season in my life, and so I make adjustments. God is good. Love you all. Bye.